Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy to have you all here today. Today we're going to go through some confessions. I secretly quit my job 6 months ago and no one noticed. I, 28 male, worked remote for a mid-sized tech company. When our manager left, the team fell apart. Everyone doing random tasks, no one checking up on anything. One day, I realized I could just stop. So I did. I stopped logging in. No one noticed. My direct reports assumed I was working on back-end admin stuff. HR never followed up. I still got paid. It's been 6 months. I wake up, make coffee, play games, walk my dog, and nap. Payroll keeps depositing my check. I'm terrified to touch anything or alert them, but also really proud of how long this has gone. I know I'm stealing. I know it'll catch up, but the freedom has been euphoric. I think I might actually cry the day they finally notice I don't exist. Wow, I think you're living a lot of people's dream right now. I'm sure a lot of people out there wish that they could do this and get away with it. I personally want to know how much longer you can get away with this. 6 months you've been doing this. Well done, you. Personally, I would log in daily and check emails, which may be the only requirement for a salaried position, showing that you did some form of work for that day. Someone will badger you one day, "What the heck have you been doing lately?" and I would have something to say in response. Maybe work on some small personal projects to better your job. This is all just to infer you did something for your time, which would make the full-blown theft portion of it more vague / grey. Yeah, login logs are pretty easy to pull and detect when he stopped working and calculate all the paychecks he owes back. Your minimum requirement effort goes far to debate earning those paychecks. Not even logging in though makes it pretty clear theft. But if he did formally resign, nor did the company fire him for not performing, wouldn't the onus be on the company to take action? This is a great question because it just feels so illegal, but then you think about it, and how is it legally different than sleeping on the job or any other type of slacking off? I don't want to condone that, and nor would I suggest that we all try that at all, but good for you for pulling it off. I think you need to start looking for another job or doing a course that's going to better qualify you so that you can move on and resign from that job, because they're going to find out sooner rather than later. Due to a childhood schoolyard event, it eventually resulted in surgery on my manhood. Please be kind. I was in grade 2 in the 90s. A boy in the yard kicked me in the crotch while we were playing at recess. Oh, that's really mean. I've been hit there before, but this pain hurt so much more. The pain subsided later on, maybe? But I was always too scared to check and too scared to tell my Caribbean parents. Maybe weeks later, I went to use the washroom and I remember being in such pain. My dad heard me in agony. I was bruised, red, and blue on my manhood. After consultation with doctors and I guess a surgeon, it was the summer before grade 3, it was decided I would have to have surgery to remove the damaged parts, which also resulted in me losing some of my manhood size. It was painful. The recovery took a while and I was left with reduced manhood with some scarring. Ever since then, I have been so self-conscious. I'm probably about 5 inches or a bit less when erect, and I'm a 6'2" guy. I change in bathroom stalls, but was made fun of because I never changed in the regular dressing room. I always wear my shorts under my gym clothes now. My first ex-girlfriend I dated in high school, after we broke up, told a friend I had a small... I was so devastated and embarrassed. It wasn't even my fault, but she never knew the story of what happened. I hope that you have enough confidence now to actually disclose that, because I mean, in high school, would your ex-girlfriend have understood the gravity of such things? Probably not, but older women would understand if you're very open and you're honest with them about the incident that happened when you were in grade 2, grade 3. I would hope that a lot of mature men would also understand. And I understand that it's not really something that you probably want to disclose to every single person out there. I get it. I think you definitely need to be upfront with your girlfriends about what happened. But let's continue reading. Life with this has not been easy, and I've dated other women and been intimate, but the feeling never left. Now, I have been able to find a partner and I have 2 kids. Good for you. Congratulations. That's so exciting. I am so self-conscious. My partner knows this, but it is difficult for me. In certain positions I slip out of or just can't do, and I feel embarrassed. She says it is fine and that it doesn't bother her, but it is a constant reminder of what I lost as a child. When I hear jokes about having small manhood or things like that, it hurts and I feel less than. This is my confession. This is my confession. Sorry, my singing's not great. I can't believe I just put you through that. Sorry, guys. Please stay. Please don't leave me over my bad singing. No one thinks about guys more than dudes. Sorry that happened, but you still have a bigger one than some. I mean, that's true. That is true. I actually dated someone. I can't believe I'm about to tell this story. I actually dated someone that was quite small, and it was not, great or ideal, but I believe he's married now and he's happy, and good for him and good for her. And I never judged and I never really cared about it, to be honest. It just was what it was. And it's not really about the size, is it? It's really about how you use it or how you feel about that person. If you are totally and completely in love with that person, or you have really, really strong feelings for that person, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Girls don't really care, to be fair. Like, I know that they say that they do, but mature women really just don't care. It's more about how you use it, honestly. Dear, I am an old queer. My wife's been dead for nearly 9 years, and I am pretty much ace permanently now. But in my youth, I had a good friend who wound up being my last male lover. He was a good, dear person. He was also fully erect, the size of an acorn. No lie. But he knew how to pleasure a female body. In short, he was pretty much the only male who ever gave me an orgasm. I asked him how he learned, and he said he was taught by a lesbian friend. Learn your way around a female body, learn how to make love, hint, foreplay and fingers are everything, because the pleasure centers are tucked up, a bit hidden. Maybe talk to a lesbian, and I guarantee you, your girlfriends won't care what size you are. My long ago lover is now long dead. His wife and I talked during his memorial. He left 2 absolutely delightful kids. Now adults, they learn to be decent humans from their dad. His widow knew about us. I was glad he found his soulmate. She was happy to meet me, but a man like him, and no one will care or judge your manhood. Wow, OP. Wow, I appreciate your advice. I never really asked my friends about that. I should seek out their advice. Thanks for the reply and the suggestion. That was really good advice, honestly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, as long as you know how to use it, learn how to use it properly, and you will totally satisfy, and your wife, or for anybody else experiencing this, your future girlfriends will thank you for it. Our bedroom game is ending our marriage. My husband and I roleplayed kidnapper/hostage last week. It was fully consensual, talked through with safe words and rules. The idea was he'd be tied to a chair with breaks for food, bathroom, water, and check-ins. He wanted the no phone, no screens rule to make it feel real. I was the one enforcing it. On October 10, while we were mid-scene, the president announced with new tariffs on China and crypto tanked. He usually manages his positions hourly. Because of the scene, he didn't check his phone or charts. He didn't safe word or ask to stop. I asked twice if he wanted to pause, and he told me to keep going because he was committed to the bit. By the time we wrapped, his account was wrecked. He hadn't set proper stops or hedges. He panicked, liquidated late, and watched years of gain disappear in a day. He's been using Awaken for his crypto tax tracking. Said it helped him feel like a real grown-up trader. And when everything crashed, it didn't matter. Watching those numbers implode felt like watching his whole sense of control vanish. Now, he says it's my fault for keeping him prisoner, that if I'd let him check markets, he could have saved it, and he wants to break up. I feel sick. I enforce the rules, but we agreed on them together. We had a clear line that real-life emergencies would end the scene immediately. Neither of us knew tariffs were coming. I didn't hide any alerts. I wasn't doom scrolling either. Part of me feels like I failed him. Another part is angry that our entire financial safety net was riding on active management with no risk controls, and I'm being made the villain because my kink made bad timing worse. I've apologized for not pushing harder to pause. I offered to help with bills, to sell some stuff, to go to therapy, to take a long break from any kink play. He's furious and says he can't look at me without thinking about that chair. He moved to a friend's place last night. I'm terrified I ruined my marriage, even though we both consented and checked in. I hate that I was the one tying the knots while his money unraveled. And I hate that part of me resents him for gambling our stability and then putting the blame on me when the coin landed wrong. I don't know if I should accept the blame to keep the peace or hold the line that shared consent and personal risk management both matter. Right now, I'm just ashamed, grieving, and lost. Look, I think you asked him several times if he wanted to pause and go and check it and whatever, and he said no just to keep going. I think you tried to do the right thing. And as you said, you didn't know that these were all coming and it was going to happen. So, and neither did he. I think he needs to accept a little bit of accountability for this. I don't think it's entirely your fault. You asked if he wanted to pause, and he said no. So it is on him. And yet you probably could have, pushed a little bit harder. But as you said, you didn't actually know that it was all going to go down or go down like that. How can you predict that it was going to go down that way? This has nothing to do with kink or money. What it boils down to is your husband throwing a tantrum and blaming you for something you had absolutely nothing to do with. That. He's angry, he's scared, he's embarrassed, and it's the coward's way of blaming you instead of taking responsibility for his own failure to take precautions to avoid this. Exactly. You don't have to pay for his shit. You don't have to apologize. You should be outraged at his behavior. I agree. Absolutely, this is what I'm saying. OP, I think you need to reframe this in your mind. Your husband bet money on fantasy football. He bet way more money than he could afford to lose. He lost, and he feels so stupid that he's blaming you so he doesn't have to take responsibility for gambling. The only thing you've done wrong is taking responsibility for the consequences of your husband's addiction. Yes, that. Absolutely that. But OP, I hope that you can get through this and sort it out with your husband. I totally don't think that you are in the wrong at all. So if you're enjoying this video, please like it and subscribe and leave a comment for me. It can be anything. My husband, 42 male, admitted he doesn't find me, 40 female, attractive anymore, but still wants to stay together. I don't know how to process this. We've been married for 15 years. We have 2 kids, 10 and 13. Last weekend, after a few drinks, my husband told me he loves me deeply, but isn't physically attracted to me anymore. He said it wasn't meant to hurt me, but he just wanted to be honest. He insists he doesn't want to leave, that our family and emotional bond mean more to him than lust. But honestly, I can't stop replaying those words in my head. I feel humiliated. I've been trying to take better care of myself lately, working out, eating better, dressing nicer, and now it just feels pointless. He says he wishes he still felt that spark, but it's gone, and he doesn't think attraction can be forced. I told him I need time to think, but I don't even know what that means. I still love him, but how do you stay with someone who admits that they're not attracted to you? I can't sleep, I can't eat, and part of me hates him for saying it, while another part respects him for being honest. What do I even do? Oh, that is a tough one. As somebody that is forever single, I really don't know, but I think if somebody, my husband, boyfriend, whatever, was to tell me that they were no longer physically attracted to me, I honestly don't know if I could continue to be with that person. Because if he's saying that to you, does that mean that he is having an emotional affair with somebody else that he thinks is attractive, or that he has feelings for somebody else that he finds attractive, and what's to say that he's not going to leave you for said person, or he's not going to start cheating on you? I don't know if I could trust somebody that tells me that they are not physically attracted to me anymore. Like, why be with me? Why stay with somebody that you just don't like? You know, good for you for taking care of yourself a little bit more lately and doing all that. Don't do it for him though. Do it for yourself. And if he just can't get over the fact that he's not physically attracted to you and find that spark again, then move on, find somebody else. Somebody else will appreciate you and will find you physically attracted. And I understand that you've been with him for so long and you've got 2 children and you don't want to break up your family, but is being with somebody that has openly said that they're just not attracted to you anymore, is it worth it? Attraction can most definitely grow back if 2 people put effort in, especially people who love each other. Totally, every time my husband helps around the house, which is every day, is awesome with the kids, is a great partner, etc., I notice I'm more physically attracted to him. Putting effort in is hot as F. Use this as fuel. Use it to drive you to keep taking care of yourself. You said you just started working out and eating healthy again, right? Well, fight. Fight to be the hottest chick in a 100-mile radius, and believe you effing are. Mind over matter. You can do it and just have to be determined. Imagine walking down the street and seeing heads turn again. Imagine walking with your husband and him seeing that. He might get a hair jealous if he has any insecurity within himself, but it might also just rile him up beyond belief. If you want it, you can get it. They say most workouts start to show results within 6 weeks. I think it might help bring your spark back. He may have gone about in a heartbreaking way, but him talking with trying to at least put his feelings out there because he wants to make a change. He probably just doesn't know how. He also probably wouldn't have said any of that if he wasn't drinking, and that's why he came off so blunt. See, I miss that part about him drinking. They do say that, you know, the truth always comes out when you've been drinking. So always believe the words that come out of a drunk person's mouth because that is the truest honesty. This is normal in long-term relationships. Don't feel like you're alone here. Plenty of people go through this. Thank God he's a decent man and can at least talk to you rather than stray away like most do. I'm sorry you're going through this, but focus on the revenge of what he said. Use it to fuel you. Use it to prove him wrong. Show him you still got it, girl, and go get it. I hate my relationship and all I think about is being with my ex. I, male 28, am with a female 28 whom I have known since we were kids. We get along, but her kid isn't the best. He's destructive and he's really an a-hole all around. She's constantly talking her baby daddy up and saying that he knows how to do this and can fix that. But he's not been in her kid's life for a while. Kid is 7 now. He lied and called CPS saying we were doing porn and he was in a video. Police literally dug through both our lives just to find nothing. Every SD card I had, every crevice of my place. Since I've been with her, I've had my privacy violated. Her kid keeps destroying my house and cars. She doesn't clean. She works and parties and puts stuff off on me. I find myself thinking about the longest relationship I've had. I was 23, she was 20, and we dated for 3 years. I look through old pictures and it makes me mad. I literally hate my life right now. I've thought of ending it. I've thought of turning back to drugs, sober for 1.5 years. I told her I don't do drama and that's all it's been in this relationship. I want to build with her, but she doesn't listen. She's closed off and she thinks everything I say is an attack on her well-being. She won't change and I'm tired of compromise. I've recently gotten in touch with that ex whom I think about a lot and she tells me she misses me and we've talked a little about trying again. At least I know with my ex, we separated because we had different job opportunities. This situationship I am in is literally killing me and I can't anymore. I don't even think I love my girlfriend, but I know I love my ex. I don't know, and I hate that no matter how I think about it, I'll be wrong either way. You know what? You obviously don't want to be with your girlfriend, so break up with her. Honestly, you don't need a reason to break up with somebody. If you're just not feeling it or it just doesn't feel right or you're going through all these things and she's not listening and she's partying and she doesn't respect you, you can break up with her. You don't need to be with her. And I think you need to do it before you continue talking to your ex or do anything or start anything with your ex. You need to be done. You could just break up with your girlfriend. You could not start anything with your ex and you could take time for yourself and to work on yourself and to work out what you really want. If your ex still has feelings for you and really wants to be with you, then she will wait for you. She will wait for you for 3 months. She will wait for you for 6 months. She will wait for you for 12 months. I wouldn't ask her to do that because that's not the right thing to do for her, because she also needs to have the opportunity to find love as well. And if you're not it for her, then she needs to be able to find that. But I think at this point, you probably need to work on yourself. And there's nothing wrong with working on yourself and finding out what you want. So I would just take the time, honestly. You know, there's a third option here of just breaking up with your girlfriend and working on yourself for a bit. All right, we have time for one more confession. I'm considering leaving my girlfriend for not losing weight. Why? Why does weight matter so much? Why? Why? Why does it matter? If you really love your girlfriend, her weight will not matter. But let's read it and see what he says to explain why he feels this way. As cruel as the title sounds, hear me out. Okay, I'm going in with an open mind. My girlfriend and I have been together for the past 3 years, and in that short time, she's gained a significant amount of weight. You do realize that when you get into a new relationship, you get into a bubble, and it's a happy bubble, and you do tend to forget that you need to exercise or eat healthy because you're just so happy, so happy in that bubble. And unfortunately, most people put weight on. Over the last 2 years, she was dealing with depression and things like that, and I have been there for her, and I tried to get her to go to the gym and try to work out, and each and every time she makes an excuse and little to no effort to do so. When people are depressed and going through depression, the last thing on their mind is wanting to go to the gym and exercise. I'm just saying. When people are going through depression, it's hard to get out of bed for them and do anything. So maybe help your girlfriend through her depression rather than trying to force her to go to the gym and work out. Now, I'm not insensitive because I too have dealt with depression, but I feel like you have to attack certain aspects of it by doing things to better yourself. Everybody deals with things differently. Just because you deal with it one way doesn't mean that that is necessarily the correct way for your girlfriend to deal with it. So you've got to work out what works for her, and you've got to let her work through it in her way instead of forcing her to do it your way. And if you go through it and you get yourself out of bed and you exercise and you go to the gym, good for you. That might not necessarily work for your girlfriend. Not only is the weight gain affecting her mentally, but physically as well. She can't do things that she once did before. Out of concern for her, I took notice of these things and immediately wanted to address them, as well as guiding her step by step. I even tried to get her to change her diet first and start off with smaller portions, but it only lasted about 3 months. It has significantly impacted our giggity life, as well as she gets tired more quickly and doesn't seem to feel comfortable as she once did before. Again, I am not insensitive to these types of feelings, which is why I am trying to get her to lose weight, to gain her confidence back, honestly. It hurts me to see her like this, but she won't actively try to make changes. She also has a hectic work schedule as she is a nurse, but she does get at least 3 days off a week. I'm not asking her to work out all 3 days, but I'm at least asking her to try and make an effort. Why don't you just start with going for a walk, asking her if she'll go for a walk with you? Just say, hey, I'm going to go for a little walk. Would you like to join me? And go somewhere that, you know, has some nice views, or that you can appreciate, you know, your surroundings. Instead of trying to get her to go to the gym, it's small steps. Maybe starting with a walk might be just the kick that she needs. It might help. It's good for depression. As somebody who has suffered from depression as well, I do understand how hard it is to get yourself out of that funk. And sometimes just going for a walk, even going for a walk by yourself, you know, and invite her on a walk with you. You don't have to talk. You can both have earphones in and listen to your own music and just be in each other's company. Sometimes that is all that is required. I even bought her a treadmill, which she did use at first, but after we had got into an argument, she stopped using it altogether. I'm at my wit's end here. I want to be there and I want to support her to the fullest, but she does not seem to see the vision and is not holding herself accountable for what's going on. I am considering leaving the relationship altogether. Based on the above, it sounds like you will both be better off if you leave. Please be as kind as you can when ending it. I tried to get her to change. You can't force a horse to drink water if it doesn't want to drink. She has to want to change, otherwise it's not going to happen. Is she getting any help with her depression? If not, then that would be a good place to start. You've got to tackle the mental and emotional reasons. Going on a diet or going to the gym is just papering over the cracks. Exactly. You need to find out why she needs to get some help if it's that bad. Is she receiving any help for her depression? Because that honestly sounds like the bigger thing that she really needs help with, and that the weight gain is just one side effect of it. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed those confessions. And if you did, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really would appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.